You don't need to, yeah.
Is this good?
Yeah, now you're back again. So
I'm recording.
yeah, if you're broadcasting at too high of a resolution, then you are likely going to have some lag time because the bandwidth isn't big enough to shove that many pixels through at one time, and you can downgrade your resolution and it will help the lag time. I don't know how to do that, but that's what they say you do to fix it.
Yeah, I've been learning on what is it, OBS Studio?
Yeah, that's complicated to me.
It's very complicated, but you can actually adjust.
Yes, that's what they were saying.
Yeah, I don't know what I've done. I can't live stream from YouTube right now because I don't know what I'm doing so badly. Or I'm so good at not knowing what I'm doing that yeah, I'm gonna have Andrew
Fix me.
Yeah, he comes in, he gets that access to my computer. So I just sit back and he talks to me and I want to move around.
All right.
So let's go ahead and start.
Yeah. All right.
I wanted to
edit all the early stuff out, right?
Yes. Yeah. I just when I started recording was when I let you know I'm recording now. Okay. So welcome, Susan Edwards from the Rock Shop. I'm so glad that you could spend a little time with us tonight. People jump in and out, but this will be recorded and this will be available on my YouTube, and I can send it to you if you wanted to put it on yours as well.
Absolutely, send me a link.
So I'd like to start by getting some input from you into how the past year, how you've been processing all of this crazy last year energy.
Ooh. I thought we were only going to be on for an hour. There's so much. And I think at the beginning of the whole pandemic about a year ago, I was processing it considerably differently than I am now, as I think everybody is. When it first hit, of course, none of us really knew what to expect. And it was very frightening. I'm certainly not old enough to have lived through any other global pandemics. Mm-hmm. So I was pretty freaked out, to be honest. Okay. And could see how there were things in my personal life and then globally that were not sustainable, nor were they balanced, which set up the environment for something like this to take hold. Mm-hmm. And so I went through that whole self-evaluation where, okay, well, what can I do? Mm-hmm. What can I do to impact the situation locally, me, my family, my community, my country, and then globally. Mm-hmm. And I made some changes. And then as we got more comfortable, we were allowed to reopen the store, and became obvious that it was airborne, so we knew what to do to better protect ourselves. And they gave us some guidelines. And so I started feeling more comfortable. Mm-hmm. And now, I don't want to make it sound like I don't want to make it sound like it's casual, because it's not. But I feel that I'm taking as many precautions as are reasonable and still living a life that isn't bound up in total fear. Mm-hmm. We still wear the mask, and we're a retail store, so we're interacting with people every day, all day long.
Right.
And so we have protocols at the store that follow the CDC guidelines to keep ourselves and our customers safe. But I feel much more comfortable moving about my life, and the numbers are coming down and the vaccines are coming out, and so I think I kind of brew with everybody through the sky is falling
Yeah.
to, oh, maybe it's not falling, but there's definitely some debris coming down,
Right.
to, okay, I know how to step over the debris.
We were talking a little bit before I started recording about a health issue that you're having that you wanted to share.
Yeah, and for those of your guests that don't know me, I work with the angelic realm a lot. And so, especially in the beginning of the pandemic, they were really giving me a lot of strong messages, and you can find those messages on my YouTube channel.
I'll make sure to post a link.
Yeah, thank you. But this physical manifestation is presenting as what they call GERD, which is basically chronic indigestion.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that I am not digesting food properly, and it's causing lots of discomfort in my physical body. And I'm old enough to know that whatever has physically manifested started as an energetic situation that
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get addressed in time, and now it's manifesting. So as I started to look at some of the potential energetic roots of this physical manifestation, I was looking at the death of my older sister a couple of years ago. And she died just a miserable death. She was a smoker, and she had so many things wrong with her physical body, and she just suffered mightily as she was dying. And part of her dying was she couldn't eat any food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it was horrible to watch. It was just horrible. And she lost like 40 pounds in a month, because she just couldn't eat. And so as I was exploring my issues around my GERD and not being able to eat, okay, I was reminded that the year that she died a couple of years ago, it was right at, she actually died Christmas morning. So that Thanksgiving, my husband and I had purchased a turkey, and we're going to cook it and do the whole, turkey dinner thing. And the day before, I'm like, I can't cook and feast and act like my sister isn't starving to death. So we gave the food, the whole dinner. We just gave the whole thing to a needy family, and we just, basically had hot dogs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that very clearly. I couldn't feast while my sister was literally starving.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a very strong emotion, wrapped all up in grief.
Yeah.
And so that became that emotion surfaced to me today, because I'm working on all this stuff. And my husband called me this morning from the store, the rock shop, and he said, "You're not going to believe this, but there's a wild turkey out in front of our door." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So we did a video call, and sure enough, there's this female turkey walking around. And I swear to you, Kelly, if he had opened up the front door, this crazy bird would have come into the store. Okay. Now this is downtown Paducah.
Right.
Okay. And there's not like a herd of turkeys. There's one turkey, and she wants into the store. Okay. Not that weird stuff doesn't happen to us down there, but this ranked right up there. This ranked right up there. So we were having fun with the fact that the turkey was there, and she finally wandered off, and he went outside to film her. And by the time he hung up for me, opened the door and went outside, the turkey was gone. Now, turkeys don't fly.
Correct.
Well, I mean, they kind of flutter along, but they don't like take off and fly. The turkey was gone. So I went through the whole day just kind of being amused that the turkey was there. And then later it was like, hey, okay, I get it. It was my sister, CJ, visiting me very physically, giving me a physical sign that helped me remember that stuck emotion of grief and feeling guilty that I was going to feast while she was starving, and that it was okay. And once I recognized that it was a stuck emotion, I observed it, I let it come up, I blessed it, and then I let it go. And as soon as I did that, my sensation of bloating and all of the discomfort from the GERD, it hasn't come back. Will it come back? I don't know. There's probably a couple more stuck emotions down there that I
Right.
got cough up like a hairball. I tell you, you know, people who don't either believe or haven't seen evidence of the spiritual realm and angels and our dear departed loved ones, when this kind of stuff happens, it is such validation that we are connected and that they are interacting with us. And if we just slow down and pay attention, there are signs all around us. I'm sorry, that's not a coincidence that this crazy lone turkey wanted into the store this morning. Okay. So I took it as a very clear sign. I congratulated my sister, who really didn't believe in all this hooey, okay, for being able to manifest such a clear sign for me in the physical realm. So she's getting better at it. So yay, CJ.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And
So
it's
yeah,
really,
I mean, it's like a warm hug. It's
Yeah.
like a warm hug from the spiritual realm. You're not alone. You're not alone.
right. I think it's really important for people like us. That's why I asked this question with everyone that comes on to my Friday Night Live, because I've met so many people in the past few years who think that those of us who are kind of more prominent in the spiritual community have like arrived to a place where we no longer have anything to work on. You know, we don't have issues. We don't have, you know, shades and shadows that we're still processing.
Yeah.
And I think it really helps people to understand that people like us, we've got all of this stuff that we've got to deal with too. Things that cause
Absolutely.
problems, things that cause us issues, things that come up that show us that we're still not as clear as we would love to be. And
Exactly.
and so I thank you so much for sharing that, because I think it's really important that people understand that no matter where you are on your spiritual path, you're going to have issues to heal.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons we're here.
Absolutely. You know, and I think the only thing that I would say about people like you and I who have been studying this and committed to doing this work is that I think we just get a little better and a little quicker at recognizing what it is and then how to deal with it. So instead of, you know, chewing on it for a month, you know, I chewed on it for half a day.
Right.
And that's like, yay. It doesn't mean it isn't going to pop up. It just means
Right.
that, oh, I've seen this one before. I recognize you, and this is how I can get rid of it. Or not get rid of it. I can transmute it and heal it.
Right. And the only thing that really facilitates that is no matter where you are on your path, if you stop and ask yourself, what can I learn from what's happening to me right now? What message, what message or lesson did this come to teach me?
It's the perfect answer. Or the perfect question. It's absolutely the perfect question, because it's not going to show up in your life unless you've got something that you need to bring up and, you know, go, oh, okay, I see that now, and decide, is it something I want to keep, or is it something I'd like to, you know, transmute and send back to source?
That's beautiful. And that's one thing I love about your store. Basically, anywhere anyone is in their life, whether they're a beginner, whether they're in kind of the middle of the process, or whether they're more advanced in their spiritual knowledge and healing skills, the Rock Shop is pretty much a place where everyone can go to not only get answers, but some of the amazing spiritual tools that that they need or find helpful in their process, no matter where they are. You guys do readings,
Mhm.
some amazing readers there. You've got all kinds of spiritual jewelry and candles and what you've got you just got a big shipment of incense in, I think about a week and a half ago. I follow your little videos on your page and was very excited about that. But what's going on right now at the rock shop that we all need to know about?
Well, the incense was a big deal. The suppliers were out of almost all of the different varieties and brands of incense for quite a while. There was a real interruption in the supply chain when COVID hit and everything shut down. So there was a period where there wasn't any incense to be purchased. So that's why we were so low on it. So that has seemed to have balanced itself out and it's starting to flow again. So we're back up to snuff in terms of our incense. I just met this great traveling salesman. I get a call and he says, I'm in your area and I sell singing bowls. Can I stop by? And I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
I'm looking for singing bowls. And guess what his name is?
What?
Karma.
Oh my goodness.
And that's his actual name. He's from Nepal. He says, yeah, it's a very common name in Nepal. I'm like, well, that's very cool. So I don't typically have little singing bowls because I typically don't sing very well, but his were magnificent. So I actually have some 3-inch and some 4-inch
Oh,
that are like
wow.
$22, $50, and $30 respectively.
Wow.
The striker. So, and they sing lovely. I mean, they're wonderful. And then he also had some hand hammered ones, which are a little more expensive. And then he had the little tincture bells,
I
the
love those.
little cymbal-y thingies that you ding,
Uh-huh.
ding, ding. And those are really great for clearing and creating your sacred space.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're not real expensive either. And then he had some bracelets and some other stuff. We're constantly bringing in new exciting products. Our crystals and our healing stones. I mean, that's just a mainstay. And I tell you, the stuff I've just recently gotten in has been wonderful. We've got some of Kelly's magical trinkets, which are just wonderful. Some organite
Yes.
pendants, okay,
Thank
which
you.
are fabulous. I mean, they're fabulous, they're beautiful, and then they're really great for healing.
Yeah, thank you.
And of course, sage. I mean, we sell a ton of sage and clearing kinds of things. Well, we have just added, well, not just added, but recently added bulk herbs. So if you use herbs in your magical workings, then we've got that. And we have exploded in terms of the titles of books that we carry and the cards, the tarot cards and the oracle cards. I mean, we've got a very, very good selection of that stuff, and it's well stocked. And candles, don't forget candles.
Yeah, you guys, your selection of everything is so amazing. It's hard to pick because I just want everything when I come in your store. You also have a lot going on kind of outside of the rock shop. I know you've stepped back a little bit and you are pursuing some creative avenues.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, when COVID hit, we shut down all of our classes just because we couldn't keep them socially distanced. So we really haven't had any in-house classes for a year now. As I like to say, God willing, and the creek don't rise, we're going to start up in June. So as long as the numbers stay, low and declining, we'll have some at the store classes again, and those are going to start in June. My YouTube channel, I had been posting a video about once a week, and then it kind of slowed down, but that's going to start back up again.
Okay.
And then I wanted to do some online teaching for a long time. And I finally, got the fire lit under my own patootie and got the first of the classes online. And the umbrella that I call it is the Center for Metaphysical Studies. And this is the first course, and it's a pretty in-depth course, and it's how to make money doing psychic readings. So I'm not going to teach you how to do tarot cards or oracle cards or runes. I'm going to teach you how to set up your business, whether it's for profit or for fun, in a safe, ethical way, and what all the tools mean and how to. So it's for the beginner, it's like 1, 2, 3. For the person who's already doing readings and actually wants to start making money, it's the 3, 4, 5. And one of our readers who I've been coaching for some time now, and a lot of this was built off of her when she first started coming to the store to do readings. She's very good, but she was like, "Oh, I can't charge people when I did," and she wasn't making any money except what she was in the store. So I kind of put her through this course informally and educated her and helped her get her self-confidence and coached her on how to make this more of a business. And it's been about 1.5 years, and she went from zero. She cleared, and it's not just at the store, this is on her own personal business. She cleared $2,000 last week.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's amazing. That was a big week. She usually only clears 1,000, which is still amazing to go from zero to $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
So not everybody is either wants or needs or is going to have those kinds of results. But if you want to really have a side gig and make some income, this would be a great course. And it's the first course, so there's more to follow.
And I'll make sure to post a link to that as well.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And now you're also a writer.
Oh, yeah. I just finished my latest book, Voices in My Head, first-hand account of messages from God, the truth about aliens, entities, ETs, and angels. And it's basically it's a what do they call it? What do they call it when it's about yourself? It's my story. It's my story about my awakening and my very weird journey into this realm of which you, my darling, has been a big part of. And I wrote it because I think a lot of people think that they are alone.
Yes.
And that they're the only one that's going through this. And I know I thought that. And they're not. They're not. And then, I mean, they may be crazy, but they're not likely crazy.
Right.
They're likely just having their own personal spiritual awakening.
Yes.
And so I just put it out there. And I cannot tell you how many people have commented that it's made a big difference. I had a young person in the store the other day. I don't think he could have been 19. He was still in his teens, and he said he had gotten the book and he had read it, and he got all teary, and he said, "You saved my life." And I'm like, "Really?" He said, "Oh yeah, I thought I was going crazy, and I read your book, and I realized I'm just having a spiritual awakening." And I'm like, I mean, it made my day. And so the fact that one person said that made it all worthwhile.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I still cherish about my time working at the rock shop, because, I guess if you're just going about living your life and you're on a spiritual path or a path to being more enlightened, you don't necessarily understand the different paths that other people are experiencing. And so that
Mhm.
gave me such an opportunity. I can't tell you how many people came in like they hadn't chosen, they didn't consciously say, I'm going to start developing my
Right.
intuitive abilities or my spiritual awareness. They would come into the store and they would say, help, I'm going crazy. I'm seeing
Yeah.
this and I'm experiencing that.
Yeah.
And so it was really kind of an eye opener for me. And it really caused me to be more, um, to hold more space for the different types of awakening that people
Yeah.
experience, and to be more accepting of that. And so I think that your store does, um, it's a beautiful store. It's full of all kinds of um, tools that we can use in our spiritual development. It's also full of just shinies that you just love and want, but it also provides a deep service to people.
And Kelly, I mean, I'm thrilled to be able to help people buy things that they need and they want. But honestly, the store is a front for the ministry, as you know,
Yeah.
and you were a big part of that ministry. We're there to help people. Yeah, the selling of the merchandise funds that, but we're there as a safe place for people to come and to, how many times did people hit the door, pause, and then burst into tears going, you're going to think I'm crazy. I mean, it still happens yet today.
Yeah.
And then we, say, no, probably not.
Yeah.
And by the time they leave, they got that aha moment. It's like, oh, I'm not alone. This is something that is possible. And they go off and they feel better. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I really, I can't tell you how many times. And now, we didn't always have the answers. Luckily,
Yeah.
we had a backup system of people that we could refer people to if we couldn't help them
Right.
after we
Yeah.
tried. And
Yep. Still do.
yeah, and yeah, just some absolutely amazing beings kind of associate themselves with the rock shop. So it really kind of is the hub of the spiritual community in not just Paducah, but the surrounding area as well.
Well, and we're not the only one. I certainly don't want to come off as, well, we're the only. There are countless other people and business entities that are just serving the community in such amazing, wonderful
Yeah,
ways. And whoever needs something will be attracted to that particular spiritual hub.
right. So, do you have any plans for another book?
Yeah, I do actually. My first book, which was a book on how to smudge, is really doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And the Angel book is doing well. And I've got a workbook that's going to accompany the course that we talked about, the How to Make Money. So that's about halfway done, and that's next. And then after that, I'm not quite sure. There's a book about empaths that's kind of swirling around in the old noggin here. So I'm not quite sure, but I do keep feeling the push to continue to write. But the workbook is next.
And so you'll we have that to look forward to. You've got the courses that you're just kind of in the process.
Yeah, we got one ready, and there's about 2 more that are coming in.
Yeah. And like I said, I'll put the link to that and the Rock Shop and your YouTube page as well.
Thank you.
YouTube channel, because yeah, you've got some really good videos on there. And so are you the kind of person that kind of plans out the year ahead, or are you more of I'm just going to jump in the boat and see where we float to.
You do know the official name of my business is Wild Hair Studios, right? I'd love to say to you and to the folks that are watching that I have this all planned out, and I would be lying. Bold face right out in front of you, lying. But that's not to say I don't have goals. Okay.
Right.
I think what I would be comfortable saying is I know where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure what path Spirit is going to present to me to get there. And so I am open to doing that.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the idea of manifesting and manifestation and using the universal laws, and that does require you to kind of just put it out there and then step back and allow it to become what you're attempting to manifest, and even more, because honestly our imaginations are much more limited than the universe, than
Yes.
what the universe is attempting to manifest for us. And so just kind of stepping back and trusting in yourself and having faith in your process, and not looking at everything that doesn't appear to go the way you thought it would go, not looking at that as a failure, but looking at that as just kind of you just having to readjust your sails on your path to what you're attempting to manifest.
Absolutely. You know I love
that for years.
I love to do the radio analogy, and I talk about it a lot in the book. It's like if you decide you want to listen to jazz and you happen to know that the jazz station broadcasts at 101.5, you've got to tune your radio dial to 101.5 if you want to listen to that jazz playlist. If you continually tune into 88.2, you can't be upset if you're not hearing jazz, because that's the rock and roll station. That's not what they play. And so in manifesting, if you want to manifest jazz in your life, you have the responsibility. You're the radio. You have to tune your dial, get your frequencies and your vibrations and what you say and what you think and what you feel, your emotions lined up with 101.5. Mm-hmm. And if you do that, you're going to hear clearly all the jazz that you want. So here's an example. I had a woman come in last year, and she wanted a vibrational tune-up, and she wanted me to help her have more money in her life. And she was feeling quite strained financially. So I was kind of poking around on her. I'm like, well, tell me what you think about money. And, oh, I hate money. I just hate money. I'm like, I think I see a problem here.
Bingo.
So I said to her, I challenged her. I said, so if money was a person, okay, and you wanted that person to hang out with you, and you kept saying to them, I just hate you. I hate when you come around. I hate it. Do you think that person would really hang out with you very much? And she, you could just see the light bulbs going bing, 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 bing. And as I poked on her a little bit more, what she hated was that when she had money, her family and her children were constantly badgering her to give them the money. And she didn't have the boundaries and the infrastructure emotionally to say no. And so she would feel very emotionally manipulated when she had discretionary income. And as soon as she realized that, it was like, bingo, she really got how she could feel better about having money. And we did the tune-up, and she checked in with me a couple of months after that. And she still had issues, mm-hmm. And the family was still, like, give me your money, give me your money. And so she was still working on that, but it was so much better. So manifestation is you've got to tune into what it is that you want. If you want prosperity, you can't live an emotional life of scarcity. Those two things don't live together.
Yeah, and when you're trying to tune that channel, if you know every time your hand goes toward the dial, something is holding it back, you've got to figure out what's holding it back. And you
That's right.
address that, and then it kind of opens up the space for the vibration of manifesting to
Yes.
to come toward you. Thoughts.
Yep.
Your thoughts are understanding your thoughts and being in control of your thoughts and your beliefs is so important.
Yep.
So
It's the key, isn't it? It's the key.
I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. Yeah, it sure is. It's amazing.
And it's fun. When you do get it figured out, and let me just put the caveat, once you figure it out, they'll change the whole game. So you got to figure it out
Yes.
again. Okay.
Yes.
It's not like you figure it out one time and then that's it. But when you get it figured out and the stuff starts to flow and the turkeys show up at your door, you know, trying to get in to give you a message, it's just fun. You look at things differently and go like, oh, that was a message. Yeah, it's fun. You know, I feel sorry for people who don't believe in God or
Yeah.
spirit or universe or whatever, because God has such a wild sense of humor. And if
Yeah.
you're just paying attention, it's just hilarious.
Yeah. Because I mean, I've been in a place in my life where like I looked at the things that happened to me as negatives.
Mhm.
And once I shifted, now everything that happens to me, I really feel like it's a beautiful opportunity for me to learn something or to experience something or to heal something or just to help me, you know, understand that my process is evolving and I am more open
Mhm.
and holding more space for love and for light. And so it really does matter how you view all of the stuff that happens to you, whether it's good or, you know, you once considered bad things. They're just
Yeah.
all just
Well,
opportunities.
just go back to the radio example. So if you've been constantly tuned into 88.2 and you say, oh, I really want to listen to 101.5 because I really love jazz. And then all of a sudden, you know, your dial starts to tune. First of all, you're going to get white noise because you're not tuned in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to hear that other station. That could be construed as really, oh my God, I can't hear the music. And I get all this chaos and all this dissonance in my life and all this white noise. But it's just you adjusting. It's just adjusting. And you can't get to 101.5 until you tune off of 88.2.
Right.
And go through the white zone, the white noise zone.
And yeah,
Now that happens in our life. That happens
Yeah.
all the time.
And it happens to all of us.
Oh yeah.
No matter where we are in the process, it happens to all of us.
Yep.
But
before I forget,
yeah.
there was a quote that Ram Dass, I ran across this quote from Ram Dass a couple years ago, and it was around the Thanksgiving time.
Mm-hmm.
And it just cracked me up. And so it was a meme that showed up on the social media networks. And it said, if you think you are enlightened, go home for Thanksgiving.
It is so true.
Yeah. Yeah. Spend a week with family. You see
Yes.
how enlightened you really are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll last about 5 minutes. So it happens to all of us.
It sure does. But that is
That cracked me up. I spit my tea out on that one.
So I feel like the coming year for you is going to be busy and exciting and filled with all kinds of beautiful surprises. for the rest
I
of
do too.
Um,
And I can't wait.
yeah. I can't wait either. I really need to come in there. I'm very low on everything.
We can fix you up.
I need incense. I just need. But I thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. It's a pleasure to get to share your thoughts and your ideas. And I really do. I'm really so happy that you said that you would join me this evening. I will put the links for, like I said, the 3 links in the comments section when I post the video, because I'd love people to come check out some of the offerings that you have if they haven't already. So
That would be lovely. Kelly, thank you so much for inviting me and letting me talk about the rock shop and my books and all my fun stuff that's going on in my life. And I miss you. Please
I
come down
miss you
and visit.
too. I will come visit.
That would be wonderful.
I probably in about 2 weeks I'm headed back to Paducah again, and maybe we'll do lunch in the back room there like we used to do.
It's a date.
Okay. You have a wonderful evening, and thank you again.
Love you.
Love you.